most painful thing your parents did to you? My mother was obsessed with perfect posture and locked metal rods to my spine for 16 hours a day. My mother was 5'0" with a hunched back from scoliosis she'd never gotten treated as a kid. She blamed every failure in her life on being the bent girl and spent hours staring at other women's straight spines with pure hatred. She'd make me measure the angles of models' backs in magazines, ranting about how posture was power and power was everything. Dad left when I was 6 because she kept making him sleep on the floor to improve his alignment. After that, I became her project, her chance to create the straight back daughter she never got to be. When I was 11 and my spine was still moldable, Mom brought home a metal contraption that looked like medieval torture equipment. This is a posture correction system, she said, strapping steel rods along my back and locking them in place, 16 hours a day, every day, until your body learns to hold itself properly without help. The rods forced my shoulders back, my chin up, my spine into an unnatural arch that made breathing hurt. Perfect posture by 18 or you'll be invisible forever, she said, clicking the padlock shut. I had to sleep sitting up because lying down with the rods could crack my ribs. The rods turned my life into constant agony. Every movement pulled against the metal, leaving bleeding welts where the straps cut into my skin. I couldn't bend to tie my shoes, turn my head to see friends, or slouch even slightly without the rods digging deeper into my flesh. Kids at school called me robot girl because I moved in stiff mechanical jerks. I ate lunch standing because sitting in cafeteria chairs made the lower rod press into my spine until I'd vomit from pain. Mom checked my progress every night, measuring the curve of my spine with rulers and protractors, documenting everything in a notebook labeled Project Perfection. If I'd shifted even a degree during the day, she'd tighten the straps until I sobbed. She started entering me in local pageants just to watch judges comment on my remarkable posture while I stood there bleeding under my dress. But at least in those moments on stage, I didn't have to wear my torture device. The worst wasn't the pain, but how my body started betraying me. Without the rods for those 8 hours, my muscles would spasm and collapse. I'd fold like paper, unable to hold myself up because my back had forgotten how to work on its own. Mom saw this as a sign that her treatment was necessary. See, you need the support. You're nothing without structure. She started talking about permanent surgical rods once I turned 18, showing me brochures for doctors who'd drill into my spine. I realized she wasn't trying to fix me. She was trying to break me into the shape she wished she could be. After 3 years of torture, my salvation came from an unexpected place, the school nurse. During a mandatory scoliosis screening, she saw the infected wounds where the rods cut into my skin. When she asked about them, I broke down and told her everything. She called CPS from her office while I sat there and then took me to the hospital. It turned out the constant pressure had actually started deforming my ribs and compressing my organs. The doctor said another year could have caused permanent damage to my heart and lungs. They kept me overnight for observation, while CPS got an emergency removal order. For the first time in 3 years, I slept lying down flat on a hospital bed. No rods, no straps, no pain. I cried from the relief of it, finally believing I might actually escape this hell. Then Mom showed up at the hospital with a lawyer and medical documentation claiming I had severe scoliosis that required the rods. She'd forged years of fake medical records showing a progressive spinal disease. She cried to the social workers about being a single mother trying to help her disabled daughter, who was now lying about medical treatment. The worst part was she'd brought photos of me slouching, carefully taken during my 8 hours of freedom when my exhausted muscles would collapse. As proof, I needed the rods. CPS started wavering and the judge ordered me back home with supervised treatment while they investigated. Mom was smarter now. She got a prescription for a medical brace that looked legitimate, but had hidden metal extensions she could adjust to torture me. She hired a home health aide, who was actually just her friend Lydia, who needed money. I realized I'd escaped for nothing. The system had handed me right back to her, and now she knew I'd try to run. But then Lydia saw me pass out from pain while Mom was tightening the rods. She'd thought she was here to help with a real medical device. When she realized Mom was just torturing me, she called 911 immediately. The paramedics took one look at the bloody wounds under the brace and arrested Mom on the spot. She's still in prison and will be for the next 11 years.